Hey, World Entertainment, and Sonic 4 seems to have already been greenlit. It seems to be a go. Apparently they announced it back in December, before the release of Sonic 3. But one of the questions was, going into it, and apparently through it and after it, was, would Jim Carrey be up for a return as Dr. Robotnik? Because it was seemingly being said that this one, the third one, would be his final outing as Dr. Robotnik. Well, he seems to now be saying, oh no, I'm pretty much very open to coming back. And it's interesting to hear what he says and the reasoning he would be interested in returning again for the role. Like, it's interesting to see the roles he's kind of being willing to do again. Like, to come back for this role, he seems to be open. He wants to all of a sudden come back to do the Grinch that stole Christmas too. You know, I think the bigger question that a lot of people would have is like, hey, any chance we're gonna actually get a Ace Ventura Part 3? You never know. Was it 95? I think was when Ace Ventura 2 came out. Like, that long ago. I think it was like 95 or 96. I think it was 95. But the fact that these guys are returning to these type of roles is interesting, but the fact that they can continue with these type of roles is also interesting. And to think that he's now done 3 Sonics, that's the most of one character he's played. You know, he's only played Ace Ventura twice, and he's played this character now 3 times. He's only played Harry or Lloyd in Dumb and Dumber twice. So he's only ever played characters he's done twice, except for Dr. Robotnik. So let's have a look at this anyway. So it says, Sonic the Hedgehog 3, Dr. Robotnik isn't ruling out returning for the 4th movie in the franchise. Jim Carrey, who plays the villain Dr. Ivo Robotnik and his grandfather Gerald in the most recent Sonic film, per comic book via Cinema Today, said he may return for the 4th film, which was announced ahead of Sonic 3's December 20th, 2024 premiere. So he told Cinema Today, I'm definitely open. I'm open to the idea, and generally they come to me with the next idea, and if I go, that sounds fun, then I'll do it. I don't feel locked into anything in life unless it's something that interests me, he said. He continued, certainly I love this crew. I love this gang that makes these movies, and I love the fans. The Ace Ventura star has appeared in all 3 of the Sonic movies thus far. He said this, there's a lot of really great energy around and great responses, and the fans jump in there and go like, hey, how about if you do this? And they've been super helpful. I think we're all making this movie together, Carrey said. So in a previous interview, Sonic 3 screenwriter Josh Miller had nothing but praise for Carrey's dual performances in the trequel. He said this now, the coolest thing about Jim is that I feel like if you look at other franchises, it usually seems like the star gets lazier, Miller said in a Screen Rant interview. You get to the point where, like, technically I'm only in 10 minutes of this movie, but you can string it around so it feels like I'm an important character. I feel like Jim just keeps wanting to get challenged. The fact that 3 movies in now, he had makeup on as both characters, he had to do so much more than he did in the first 2 films, Miller said. Before Sonic 3, Carrey said he wanted to retire from acting, but Miller said the studio was sure he would return as Robotnik and didn't know how they would move forward if Carrey said no, Miller said. No, I mean, that's above our pay grade. We don't entirely know what the producers or Paramount did or didn't know, but it was presented to us early on that they felt confident they could woo Jim back. So, if you remember, he was saying he was not going to come back for anything. He was pretty much retired. And then he did come back, and the reasoning was he flat out said, I needed money. Like, he didn't sugarcoat it. It wasn't like, oh, you know, I got the itch again. So he flat out was like, yeah, I needed money, so I came back. And Sonic 3 is like, it's smashing the box office at the moment. Now, it has finally actually been dethroned by Mufasa, who still is in more screens than this. The fact that they couldn't beat Sonic 3 when they were in over 4,000 screens and Sonic 3 was in under 4,000 screens. The fact that Sonic 3 was still able to stay at number 1 domestically was incredible. But by the looks of things, it looks like Sonic 3 is going to have the biggest box office haul of all 3 movies. And remember, the only reason fans actually went and supported this movie and everyone involved was because when that initial trailer for the first movie came out and we all saw that horrendously thing of nightmares design of Sonic, everybody went, what the hell is that? They didn't go, oh, the fans are being toxic, oh, they don't know what they want until we give it to them, they don't know this, blah blah blah. No, the director went, well, we hear you, that's our bad, we'll fix it. And they did. And the funny thing is, the movie they put out, it was the same movie you were going to get if the design wasn't changed. The movie that came out, all the dialogue, everything, was the exact same movie. The only thing that changed was Sonic's design. So you would have probably still had fun with that first movie. You would have just saw that version of Sonic haunting your dreams. But they fixed it, the fans appreciated it, and they went and supported that movie. And now we're 3 movies in. The third one is about to make the biggest killing of the franchise so far, and a 4th movie will be on its way. So you see, listening to your audience, knowing who your audience is, and knowing how to please them gets you money. It works. You get them on your side. And that's what all anyone ever wants. So, with that, I shall leave it there for this one. Like, share, subscribe. Cheers, and I'll catch you in the next one.